You're on film.
I'm being followed by MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Rents his remote on the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. If the rain begins to swell, get my towels who will yell. Yes, if the rain begins to swell, oh, they won't be dry no more. I'm being followed by the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Dave is hot on the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Dave will paddle anywhere. With Becky aboard, he don't care. Yes, Dave will paddle anywhere. Oh, he just wants a cool breeze. I've been followed by the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Key lime pie on the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. We can't find it anywhere. Don't worry, Paige is there. This key lime pie is not to share. Oh, she'll make it right on board. I'm being followed by the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Phil's a jokester on the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. If you don't have a shirt to wear, go in that shop, no service there. Yes, if you have no shirt to wear, oh, they won't let you buy no more. I'm being followed by a MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. The women are fine on the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. If you're going out to dine, all the girls are looking fine. Yes, if you're going out to dine, oh, enjoy the dinghy ride. I'm being followed by MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Alice be rocking on the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. If the music's up too loud, turn it down, the men will bow. Yes, if the music's up too loud, oh, she won't have to yell no more. I'm being followed by a MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Johnny's working on the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. If your computer's in a mess, Johnny's head can't take a rest. He's our techie while we rest. Oh, he'll have to go home to sleep. I'm being followed by the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Wendy's a talking on the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Morning coffee revs her up. She don't slow down till after sup. She's laughing when she gets up. Oh, she just loves to yak it up. I'm being followed by a MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Becky's relaxing on the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. If the sun is beating down, catching rays she will be found. If the sun is beating down, oh, she'll peel when she gets home. I'm being followed by MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. The rain is pounding the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. If you can't sleep when the wind blows, if rain hits in the nose, hit the remote, the vent will close. Oh, the towels will be wet again. I'm being followed by a MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. Little no seams near the MoonShadow, MoonShadow, MoonShadow. If it's a deserted beach and you just want to tan your cheeks, yes, if it's a deserted beach You can't get bit no more. I'm being followed by the moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. We're going diving on the moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Going down into the brine, looking where the sun don't shine. Seeing a fish, yes, it's a lion. Oh, I can't find the boat again. I'm being followed by the moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. Couples at work out on the moon shadow. Moon shadow, moon shadow. If you need some therapy, it's a place you need to be. Yes, if you need some therapy, you won't need a shrink no more.
Yay! Nice finale. No shrink needed here.
That's right.
Wow, go Jenny.